Let's uncover the microscopic tug of war happening inside every flex and lift. So I'm going to give you quite a quick overview of something that is quite complicated, but I'm hoping by the end of it, you'll have 5 words that could help you through understanding the sliding filament theory. So let's have a look at how muscles are made or how they're composed. So here we have a bone, we have a tendon, and we have a whole muscle. Inside that whole muscle, we have bundles of muscle fibres. Okay, so they look like that. Now, a bundle of muscle fibres is known as a fascicle. So here is one fascicle. From that one fascicle, we have muscle fibres inside there. So these are all the muscle fibres. So we have a whole muscle. We have bundles of muscle fibres or fascicles, which is this. We have a group of muscle fibres, so that is one muscle fibre. And from there, we have myofibrils. As in my previous video, I explained one muscle fibre is actually the width of a human hair. So your longest muscle of the body, the sartorius, that goes from here all the way down to here, could be nearly a metre long, and it's the width of a human hair. And that is this one. It's made up of these myofibrils, which are made up of actin and myosin protein filaments. So that is what we're going to look at here, and that makes up this sliding filament theory. So let me draw this and this. So the green on the board, the green are the actin filaments, and the red are the myosin. Okay, and the red myosin are thicker filaments. So think myosin is thicker, actin is thin, and the myosin are very special because they have these little circles on it. They are the myosin heads. Okay, so they're everywhere, and basically they're like little fingers, like so, that will pull the actin. So it's hard to see from my diagram, but what we will do is we'll put a diagram up on the video so you can see what's happening. Now, these myosin heads are holding on to the actin filaments and pulling them closer together. So this one contraction will pull the whole unit together. Now, this unit from here to here, that's one functional unit, and that is a sarcomere. Sarcomere. Now, you've got to try and imagine that under a microscope and to understand where it lies. So we've got, let me just write this word, the red ones are the myosin, the green are the actin. The functional unit is a sarcomere, and that is within these myofibrils inside the muscle fibre. And there could be 1,000 sarcomeres in one muscle fibre. So that puts it into perspective now in how tiny this is happening. And each muscle contraction involves a lot of different actions for one movement. Another way to describe a sarcomere is if I use my hands like so. And these are my actin fibres. So from my knuckle to my knuckle there, that's representing from here to here. Okay, so they're my knuckles. If I'm in this position, I'm in a rested position and my muscle is at rest and not moving. When you have activation via the acetyl choline, I will explain that in a second, we have a nerve impulse, and the nerve impulse tells these areas to contract. So there's a signal there, and it causes contraction of the muscle fibres. As the muscle fibres contract like so, you can see my knuckles getting closer together, but you can also see the muscle has got shorter and wider. Okay, so that would be the belly of the muscle where you would see the muscle bulge. As the muscle stretches, you would get it longer and thinner. But these muscle fibres, or the actin and myosin filaments, have to stay in contact, because if they stretch too far, you would get a tear. Okay, so they must be in contact. So that would be a stretched muscle, and there are 1,000 of these in one muscle fibre. So it's not just this one unit, it's 1,000 of them working together. So that would be a fully contracted muscle, that would be a muscle at rest, and that would be a stretched muscle. So here we have a motor nerve, and the motor nerve comes down and splits into motor end plates. And there could be various motor end plates, and they look a little bit like so. Each one of those is going to stimulate a muscle fibre. So let's draw one muscle fibre for each one. Okay, so that's stimulating that one. This one is stimulating this one. I won't draw them all. And remember, these skeletal muscle fibres are striped like so. Okay, so as this impulse comes down the motor nerve, this one is going to contract, this one will contract, all of these will contract. So that whole motor unit, it could contract anything up to about 2,000 muscle fibres. So where we need explosive action, where we need more strength, it will be telling more neurons to fire more muscle fibres. If we need a small action or something that is more precise, they won't need to recruit as many muscle fibres. So let's have a look at that in a little bit more detail. So at a motor end plate, here's the motor end plate. Here's the nerve impulse coming down that motor end plate. And you will get these little vesicles. They're called synaptic vesicles, and they are filled with a chemical called acetyl choline. So acetylcholine is a chemical that fills these little vesicles, and as it gets this impulse coming down here, they're released across this gap, and they're released and they're picked up by the myofibrils, which contain down here those structures. Okay, so now we're understanding a bit better how it all fits in. What were the green ones? The green ones were the actin, the thin ones. The red ones were the myosin, remember, with the heads on it. Okay, and as they pick up the acetylcholine, they will want to contract, and they pull together for muscle shortening or concentric contraction. But what also needs to happen here is energy. So the energy used in this is called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. Now again, it can get a lot more complicated, but for this video I want to give a more general overview. And if you're studying sports massage, body massage, or level 3 anatomy, that should be enough for you. If you go into degree level, you're going to learn it in a lot more detail. So let's conclude what is seemingly a very complex theory, the sliding filament theory. We have the big muscle, we have the bundles of muscle fibres, we have a small muscle fibre, and from that we have myofibrils. Inside the myofibrils we have the green, I'm going to say green and red. They're not green and red in real life, but the green ones are the actin filaments. The red ones are the myosin filaments, and the myosin are thicker with the heads, and the heads were the ones that pulled the actin towards. So we got that tug of war that people describe it, and I describe it with my knuckles. So here we have the muscle shortening, and it shortens by adenosine triphosphate, by the energy produced in this movement. As the impulse comes down the motor nerve, it releases a chemical, and if you can try and remember the name of the chemical, it's acetylcholine. And the last thing you've got to try and remember is the functional units. So in that one whole muscle fibre, there are 1,000 of these all lined up together doing exactly the same thing. From that knuckle to that knuckle, that unit is called a sarcomere. So we have a sarcomere, and when a sarcomere shortens, the muscle length will shorten. Okay, so a whistle-stop tour to the sliding filament theory. So I hope it's given you a little bit of a better understanding. Thanks for watching. That links really nicely to my muscle video as well. So we'll put a link to that one. Please like, comment and subscribe. There's plenty more anatomy ones for you to watch.